Just a short introduction. Wow, that works. Okay. Me and Gerd are from Formitas, from Cologne and Aachen, and we were trying to build some rescue application that gets, for example, a BIM model, a model from usual architectural data, and use this data to, for example, say, hey, with some sensors or, for example, with an application that we also programmed, we can define where we are, and based on the position, for example, of somebody who needs help, and we will also show in a few seconds this to you. For example, someone who has to rescue a person can go to that place. That will be either triggered by, for example, a beacon that can be installed in a room, or just, yeah, it works, perfect. Or just very, very easily also by an app that I will show you. Yeah, okay, then let's start. And further description, Gerd will provide now.
Well, John already basically took half of the info that we were tackling. I think the basic idea was, as also key in a lot of the topics that were discussed yesterday is a lot about digitization and automation in buildings. So we basically took it as a standard base point to say, okay, we have BIM files for basically any building. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get the exact BIM files for this building, so we remodeled it. And at the same time, our premise is that we had sensors throughout the spaces of this big space for localization. So if you think about how people are being tracked for productivity in big automated buildings, such as big office buildings, or all the data you can get from specific sensors, our idea was that then it could be triggered in case of an emergency. So we wrote. You have your cell phone with you?
I have my cell phone with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
We basically have, as a first responder, a beacon that can be triggered, and that then will give a destination point for the firefighter that then has basically if it's a HoloLens or basically a production that goes further from that, we'll be able to walk through. And the interesting thing is, we all know that, let's say, interior GPS is a huge problem at the moment, so we decided to kind of circumvent that by standing on the shoulder of giants and taking a game engine, because game AI has just grown incredibly over the past couple of years, and just basically try to find a way of taking the special mesh that can be compiled by the sensors from a HoloLens or an array of sensors that the firefighter could be carrying, and then basically circumnavigate him again. So what we have is a short tech demo. It also runs on our HoloLens, but now with all the people here, it's kind of tricky to get it.
But if you want to try it out, of course you are invited.
Exactly.
You can also try it out.
So I'll just start it.
We have the mouse here. So, well, at first you are seeing right now, there is some cube that is running towards a goal. And this goal, this aim is triggered by this application that we created that just says, okay, I need help. And you will have the same experience, a better experience actually, perhaps you can just also rotate, a better experience actually with the HoloLens, because then you are inside the thing. So if you stand on the door there and you just start, this points will just lead to a goal. And for example, with this app, this is all over the internet. So we just we tried to mash up everything that we could. We wanted, but we couldn't put Dynamo inside. We wanted to. But next time, we have to have a next time.
Yeah, we also have an idea of how to do that, because the search grid is actually quite unperformant at the moment.
So, for example, I hope now the connection will be well. That's also another thing right now. Come on. Now it should work.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, but it will come.
Yeah, it starts computing.
So yeah. Yeah.
As you can see, we've been tackling this, and it gets some interesting results also. Most of the time it does something completely different by going back. But the interesting thing in a way, is that you kind of get this follow me path that you can then follow by the HoloLens, and you can just kind of walk by it, and you still can see the environment around you. And then if you actually would run into a dead end, now for example in this area, I didn't model it, but there's something blocking this path. then the AI would kick in and basically find another path to go around it. So this is basically our just very playful attempt at solving interior GPA.
And there's one more thing. Like actually, we didn't have a beacon here, so I just used my phone to get like use it as a beacon. So when I'm in close range, if you can hold this, it will just like trigger another response to go to another place. So if I don't, like, I can write this app like, hey, I'm in this room, I need help, or if there's a beacon, it will just get it automatically. And so if I press, it should start running. It will do in a few seconds because it's still loading up, but I need just a few seconds. But you will in a few seconds get the idea that it will run up there, and I will put this more too close to the window because otherwise it will not work.
Yeah, for some reason, I couldn't remember my Roam login, and I think John's...
Now it should start.
Yeah, it's moving. Here,
Yeah,
so
perfect.
here we go. It's kind of going back and forth. It's stuck in the corner. Yeah.
No, it will solve. Like this is actually like a kind of another bug fix that did some bad stuff there because we needed to calculating.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
and now it's going back again.
It will come back. It will come back. No worries. Like we had another issue with like with the threads. So we needed to reduce the thread load, and that's the reason it just like does like a little bit like this. Before it didn't, but sometimes it crashed it on this machine at least, not on the HoloLens. But yeah, so that's the basic app. And
Still didn't find me.
No, he's there.
I know he's going back and forth, but he's still kind of like.
Yeah, dude. Like that was like this fucked up bug fix, but will be solved in the next one.
Yeah. Okay, so
yeah,
that's basically it in a nutshell.
And like I said, if you want to try out, the machine is there.
So what technologies you have been using? You modeled this room.
We modeled the room in Rhino, but we could easily use, and because we do this at our work, Revit models or basically any kind of BIM software to produce the model, and that then gives the boundaries in which the grid is computed by the AI itself. So actually it's basically any data that we have right now can be thrown into either Unity or even Unreal to basically get this result very easily.
Actually there are like 3 or 4 technologies in the behind. Like we programmed this Android app. We programmed the API on the server that gets like this stuff, and also like actually basically an HTML post and get thing that we are doing there. And at the same time we did stuff on Unity and C# and yeah, that's it. And HoloLens stuff.
And HoloLens.
Is the server in your machine or is it in a cloud?
It's actually in the cloud. It's right now like on our company server, but yeah.
Okay.
How much of the compute can run on the HoloLens? Like, could you run all of the computation on the HoloLens eventually? Or?
What we were able to test this morning ran without a hitch. The only problem was we couldn't quite get a fix around having more than 2 distress calls at once. So that would be something we would have to test because that was just...
That was like an internet issue. Like it's a connectivity issue. Not a. This thing is, let's say, performance probably like not so well performing laptop from today's side. A lot more performant than other stuff too, but it's still good. It's
at the same time, the way the AI is set up at the moment, it actually doesn't take that much computation because it always, in intervals, tries to create a direct line to the point, and whenever it just reaches a point where it can't continue on. So this would actually be the interesting thing to see how it holds up to the special mesh created by the HoloLens itself when it runs into a boundary. But at the moment, it's just very easy computation, always trying to fix a direct line from where he is right in that millisecond.
Is that pathfinding coming from Unity itself, or is that separate?
Well, we wrote the script in Unity, but yeah, it's coming in Unity itself.
Okay, so you implemented it from a different algorithm.
Yeah, usually like Unity provides like a sort of basic things for game developers, so all the stuff that you need for games goes like there too. And perhaps as a kind of a lookup for the future, we would like to integrate the spatial mesh that comes from the HoloLens, which is like also like to see, for example, if the HoloLens sees something's blocking the way, it can just like route another way. So. But of course, this could also be very, very interesting about, for example, connecting Ford or what Keen showed yesterday by having like sensors inside the building that can map this better. And then like something that is, that
and also basically be able to map sensor data in real time, not in an abstract way, seeing it on Forge itself, but being able to see it through the glasses itself. So these are all ideas that we're tinkering around with at the office, and then just trying to figure out how we can implement it in real life. Okay, so.
Thank you very much.
How do you do the navigation, the position detection, GPS?
The position detection itself, basically it starts from a starting point. So in our search and rescue situation now, we would say, okay, the firemen can get to the front door without any hazard and they can see the front door. So that would be the start point. And then from that point on, the entry would be then started to be computed. So the idea is if they get called to a site, they already can pull up the Revit model or whatever, the BIM model, and then they could basically have the computer computate through the perfect path to that room where the distress call came from. And if they then start venturing into the building and see that it doesn't work, the computer starts to computate a new route. But it's always like the beginning of the building where they enter.
But it's also only like the initiation point.
I know.
After that, there's like, it's something like a delta camera. So he just knows where he moves, and he can, from what he sees and from all this, like millions of sensors as this thing has, he can find his way. But of course, this thing also learns the areas by itself. So the more it has been in one area, the better it can recognize like the area.
Yeah, which kind of defeats the purpose because we want to have it, especially for people that have never been in the building, to be able to find the direct path.
Not necessarily, because
So just what's your
I would say F2 just for easiness.
why? But okay, formulas.
Okay, formulas, fine. I'm out.
Thank you.